We have organized work that needs to be done. That is WBS. But now we are answering on a second, the most important question, and that is when this work can be done. If you are building a house, it's a big difference if you get your house in 6 months or in a year. So we need to understand when this work needs to be done. And scheduling is, of course, immensely important. So let's first reply on a question. What is a project schedule? So in a project management, a schedule is simply a list of project milestones and activities that has usually their start date, end date, and dependencies between them. And inside the schedule, you have all of the different dependencies that you should consider. And let's take an example, so not to make it too complicated. If, for example, you are building a house, you cannot build a roof before walls are built. You cannot build walls before fundaments are built. You cannot build even fundaments if you do not have people who will work on this element. Also, if they do not work during the weekends, your time to build your house is prolonging. If you do not have enough budget this year to build a house, you will need to build a house over several years. If there is a public holiday when the workers are not working, you cannot continue with the building of your house during that period, and so on. So schedule is the place when you are putting your work, mapping that into the file, but also introducing additional elements that are making our schedule possible. And let's see on a very simple example how to do that. Let's imagine that we have a project to make a homemade bread, right? And making a homemade bread, we created a work breakdown structure. And we first needed to buy ingredients, so flour, yeast, sugar, and salt. Then we need to make a dough, right? So we need to mix yeast and the sugar. We need to make a dough with the rest of the flour, and so on and so on. And then we need to make a bread. All of these activities, if done simultaneously at the same time, take approximately 20 minutes to 30 minutes to half an hour. But let's see how this work breakdown structure maps into our schedule. So first, you need to buy ingredients. Only when ingredients are bought, you can do something with them. Mix yeast and sugar with warm water to grow. Then you need to wait, and only then you can make a dough with the rest of the flour, for example. And then only when you wait enough, you can redo the dough, right? And only when the bread is ready, you can set it up in the oven. And then you're putting dough into oven, and so on until the bread is done. So notice how relatively small scope of work, like making a homemade bread, can spread across amount of hours that is not maybe intuitively clear at the beginning. This is exactly what you need to do. This is exactly what you need to do in your everyday work and everyday project. So you will create a WBS, and then you would map it to a schedule. Some of the great tools that you can use for this purpose are Xmind, that I just actually recommended to you. Microsoft Project, that is excellent tool specifically for leading a project, very widely used. Microsoft Excel, of course, there is a wide array of templates that you can use in Microsoft Excel. Project Libre, and actually many others. It's what is important is to have these functionalities. Which tool does it the best depends on your preferences, on what is possible in your company, and so on.